I think we're live. We are live. It's alive. It's Star Wars weekend. What's going on, everybody? Emperor Palpabanks is here with Grand Moff Baza, and we are here to talk with you guys tonight about an all, and I mean all, spoiler review of The Rise of Skywalker. And definitely leave your comments below. Remember to like the video. Join us at Official Red Cup Review, The Rebellion, right there on Facebook. That's where you can catch up with our adventures during the week. And we'll throw this bad boy on the bottom for the like and subscribe. That's for you. What is that? They live, right? Just have it pounding in their head.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like and subscribe.
Totally. All right, cool. Let's see the comments. James Belk is with us. Hey, what's going on, James? What's going on, Dan? Mr. Dan Lee is with us as well. The Extreme Channel. I'm watching on mute as I can't see it until next week.
Just watching our expressions.
That's cool. Oh.
We're like a silent film to this guy.
Yeah, we're not. The Extreme Channel is pretty cool. He's got some crazy ass statues. Go subscribe to the Extreme Channels if you want to see some monstrous, and I mean monstrous statues. This guy must have a whole fucking wing of his house dedicated to the massiveness. But he's real professional. He's a cool dude. Anyways, getting along with the show. Okay, you guys have liked and subscribed. You guys have joined us on Official Red Cup Review on Facebook, The Rebellion, and now we're going to talk about Star Wars. And until I get hot, that's when I'll pull off this hood. Baz.
Yes.
What'd you think of The Rise of Skywalker?
No, Danny Lee and James Belk. What do you think I thought of the movie?
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to start.
Let's see if they can read my taste.
Guys, remember this is an all spoiler review and live chat. So be prepared to chime in with us. Let us know, ask us questions in the chat tonight. We are not looking at collectibles. We are not sure. You know what? Here, I'll show this shit off for 2 seconds. Here, this was the review I did this week of the Mezco cable. This was my this week's pickup. And
he had some problems. I saw that video.
Yeah, man, he has some problems. He looks great. That's the issue, is that he looks great, and his weapons are really cool, and his paint job in here is really good. The boots and shit, but the ankle articulation is horrific. His hands barely hold his weapons, especially the big guns. Like, you got to really like pose them right with them. And the secondary head sculpt is like, this head sculpt actually doesn't have a lot of detail in the hair and shit the way most of them do. That was the issue with him. So I just saved you from having to go and watch my review.
Good.
Okay.
Well, hold on. I noticed you said something about the hands are a little bit looser, like a little rubbery.
Yeah, like here. Look, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about real quick here.
No, I know, because Aquaman has that too, but it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it works. It's weird how, like, on certain figures it's good. Like on this, it's almost like I prefer the hands to be like this because you could just slip the weapons in and out without having to worry about the fingers breaking.
Exactly. Right? I worry about breakage when they're too stiff, you know.
The problem is that his hands themselves are already like this.
Yeah.
And the gun is like this.
Right.
So like, you gotta kind of just pose it in there and then like hook it under his arm and he'll hold it. It'll look good, but he's more of like, get it in there and leave him alone.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right. Listen, I loved the fucking movie.
Oh,
there you go.
Loved it.
I loved it. It's the next day, and I've been thinking about it. I like it even more. So I'm probably going to go again too. My aunt sent me a $25 gift card for Regal Cinema. So
we go to the Regal Cinema too. Yeah, right. So wow. Here you go. First comment of the night that goes up. Wow. We are going to get into what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. Baz's initial reaction was that he loved it. I loved it also. But then again, I also love The Last Jedi. I've loved pretty much everything with the exception of the prequels to come out in Star Wars history. And there are even certain aspects of the prequels that I like also. So I'm just a fan of this stuff. I'm not looking for blockbuster. This isn't the Joker movie. And I think that's what the problem with the critics, Baz, was that the critics, I think their job is to rate this movie according to, we went from 7 watchers to 4 watchers once people saw we liked it. I think that critics have to rate this movie on like that scale of Is it like critically acclaimed? Is it Apocalypse Now? Is it The
Wokeness on
Godfather?
a scale of wokeness.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
The PC brigade.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you're not checking off the boxes, and on the flip side, for those that aren't part of the PC brigade, the movie wasn't. See, Star Wars movies don't have to be Citizen Kane, right? Like they just have to be fun and exciting, and give you that feeling of nostalgia. And it's Buck Rogers, man, right?
Yeah.
Isn't this like old school serials, like space opera? Like, so as long as it does that, it's a success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of people online liking it, which is a nice refreshing. And I'm seeing about 30% of the people saying it's the worst out of all of them, even worse than The Last Jedi, which I think is really ridiculous.
Well, I like the last, not the Last Jedi. I hate the Last Jedi. I liked the Force Awakens a lot. I thought it was a nice beginning, a nice what's called setup, and I thought in the Last Jedi they fucking fumbled the ball horribly, but I think J.J. Abrams came back in and was able to salvage the story plots that he started, and his resolutions to them were satisfying enough for me, and I had a good time. I thought Poe and Finn were fleshed out more, and I was glad to see them all together on a mission, so you could have that that feeling of like Han and Luke and Leia, like the original trilogy, like how they felt like a team, the camaraderie that they had. Those three had this in this movie, I felt, where it was lacking in the second one. I don't want to talk too much about The Last Jedi, but of course it's gonna come up because this is a trilogy and yada yada yada. But yeah, so what do you think about that?
I think that you're pretty much. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of something we don't normally do here on the Red Cup Review, and that's sing Kumbaya a lot. I have a feeling tonight is going to be a lot of like kind of singing the praises of this movie. Although it's not a perfect movie, I did have some issues with it. I'm trying to stay as objective as possible. I'm actually getting hot, so I'm going to go behind my hood. Is actually another hood. Behind that hood is another hat. So
let's talk about the things we liked first.
Okay, so things I liked about the movie. Everything you just said, I liked. I was satisfied with Rey no matter what they were going to do because I liked her initially. I already liked her. I like Daisy Ridley. I think she's awesome. Her being Palpatine's granddaughter, what that does is it satisfies the idea that she is like her parents are nobodies because they technically were still nobodies. But her lineage wasn't a nobody, and she gets all. If everyone that complained about her being a Mary Sue and all powerful, you got your answer. She's actually related to the most powerful person in the galaxy.
Now, a lot of fans online actually were putting that out there. That was one of the what you call it reasons,
fan theories, right?
Fan theories that she was Palpatine's daughter because they analyzed her fighting style. She used a lot of like thrusts.
Right,
and Palpatine fought like that, so that was a big fan theory. So for people to get upset over that, it's kind of, I find it strange. Like that was one of the popular fucking theories.
The idea
that was out there.
I see a lot of critics saying stuff like, and I'm going to say like the SJW type critic crowd, like the people that really love The Last Jedi. I really like The Last Jedi, but I didn't like The Last Jedi because of its wokeness. That is actually some of the stuff that bothered me about the movie, but I'm seeing a lot of like, oh, they dropped the ball. They gave us a run-of-the-mill Star Wars movie instead of breaking the mold and continuing that like she's her own person and isn't tied to anything. And once again, the what the hell is that shit called? Not toxic masculinity. The patriarchy is back involved because she's related to the Emperor and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
She still forged her own destiny. So like he still came from nothing and then thumbed her nose at ultimate power in order to become a Skywalker.
Yeah, she chose her own family. She chose the Skywalkers over the Palpatines. Right. Which was actually her blood. And, when Kylo Ren was tempting her to join him on the dark side, he was saying, we are born of the dark side. Don't fight your true nature. and she fought her true nature, and she fought for she chose good.
This should have been like the ultimate checkbox for that type of crowd. I don't even know what I don't want to keep calling them the SJW crowd, but that crowd of like women empowerment and all that. Like this is like totally showed you that she actually trained in the movie. She overcome greatness. She denied ultimate power. She chose her own path. She chose her own family. She wasn't tied to what came before. So, and I thought
people that there's a lot of people that are born into shitty families. That should be like uplifting and inspiring to them, if anything. That you could forge your own path. Like if you come from a shit family, you don't have to, repeat that cycle. You could make something of yourself. So
yeah. And I think they did it right. I think there's a way to do this, what they did, and do it right, and not have it necessarily be like oh, it's out of nowhere. Like she's just cool because the men are whack, or because she's a girl, or because of, you know what I'm saying? Like she developed and blossomed into like the ultimate good guy, basically, And I thought that.
But keeping her like, she's from nothing and all this stuff. The thing is that her friggin' origin story, her whole story is predicated on she doesn't remember who her parents were. Like even as the audience, we don't see her fucking parents in The Force Awakens, right?
Right.
So that it's setting up this whole mystery of who her parents are, and it's like leading us in this direction. Like, oh, she comes from something else. Also, never have we seen anybody who's Force sensitive be able to do all the things she's able to do so quickly.
Right.
So basically it's like, oh, she's so powerful in The Force Awakens. She defeats Kylo Ren at the end of the movie. She beats her villain in the first movie. She's very, very adept at the Force, and we don't know who her parents are. It's a big mystery. It's a central plot point of her character. They could have just started her in The Force Awakens as a trained Jedi, or just, something as nothing, with none of that, mystery of the parents' backstory.
Right.
So obviously, you know what I mean? It's like, so you're leading the audience in that direction. So then to go into The Last Jedi and say, oh, her parents were nothing and that's how it is. It's like, yo, what? And then blame the fans for being let down.
Right.
It's a tease, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm glad they gave reason to all that,
Right.
It's like, say, James Bond. Do you really care, like, who's James Bond? I don't want to know who James Bond's parents are, or they start out the James Bond series. He's a trained agent. That's all you need to know. Let's go. Right. But if they started out the first James Bond movie, like, oh, my parents, where are they? They set that up. So I feel like they gave a good reason in this film for the way she is. The Palpatine's granddaughter, and on top of that, having this Force dyad, this link with Kylo Ren, and that's why she was able to tap into his training actually and do all these things. I thought it was brilliant.
The idea that Vader is supposed to bring balance to the Force, and Vader's grandson is the balance to, like, okay, a Palpatine is born, and then the Solo, who's really the Skywalker, I guess, of this trilogy, is born from Vader's lineage, and it's kind of like the yin and yang this whole time, right? So I don't see the whole invalidation of what Vader did over the Emperor. There was never any like him killing the Emperor was the balance to the Force, and maybe that was. And then once the Emperor came back
for a period of time,
exactly.
Right? I mean, you defeat evil, and then there's a period of peace, right? But doesn't evil come back?
Now you need a period of shit again. Exactly. Yeah. That's balance, kind of.
It wasn't like restore balance to the Force forever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Right. There is no forever, right? So he did destroy the Empire, brought it down, and there was peace for a while, and then things got unbalanced again.
Right.
So now you need another chosen one or whatever to restore balance. You know what I mean? So
This movie was chock full of stuff. It was. I don't want to get into my criticism of the movie just yet, but the movie was very bloated. It had a lot of stuff in it. So I want to see if we can go from the beginning of the movie and kind of break down things so we don't kind of skip over stuff and go, oh, no, wait, we have to go back to talk about this because we're already on this. So the movie opens up. Kylo Ren is searching. We focus on the bad guy for once. Well, not for once. There are other Star movies that Wars movies that opened with the bad guys, but this is a bad guy actually doing stuff on a quest, and they make him find Palpatine right away. So you know there's been a big time jump, and there's a little bit of action in there. It kind of gives you a good amount of exposition, but it fires you out of a cannon, right? So when the movie opens, where are you mentally seeing all this? Kylo Ren doing his little video game quest, kind of.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I was looking at something. What was the question?
The movie opens with that whole quest of Kylo Ren, right? And it really focuses on the bad guy. So where are you? The movie opens and you see him and he's doing his little video game Sith temple, like Danny Lee just said.
He's using the Wayfinder to get through whatever that vortex.
Focusing on him for a while at first.
What was the name of the planet?
At that point.
What was the name of that planet? The Sith planet?
It began with an X.
I forgot.
X something. X Sith Plane planet in Rise, and it's called Exegol.
Exegol. You're right. Okay. Yeah. So you see, like what was that? Like an upside down pyramid or something that he enters, and then he goes down like this freaking this elevator thing, and then he meets up with
the monuments and shit, all the guys in black robes and all that.
Yeah, all the people in black robes, and it like had like a cool horror element to it, right?
Yeah.
And then what you call it? He confronts the Emperor, and he tells him about Snoke. What did you think about the revelation of Snoke?
I thought it was cool. I thought it made a lot of sense. I think that when people say stuff like, "Oh, JJ corrected the mistakes of The Last Jedi," we can't go back and make JJ direct all three of these movies. And if I have a feeling that if JJ did do the second movie, the first half of this movie would have been that movie. However, I think that before what was set up for him, he did a really good job of like catching the pass and getting the touchdown, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people think that Ryan Johnson threw an interception, but I feel as though him just throwing up the ball and leaving it up in the air, and JJ having to now do something with that. So I think that it was the idea that Snoke, he was always him in his head, that he's just a series of clones on a conveyor belt, kind of who's the man really behind the scene pulling the strings and all that shit. Thought it was very well done. And
now I'm like curious as to like was Snoke the Emperor like possessing these clone bodies, and Snoke was actually the Emperor, just using that body as like a puppet.
Yeah, right? I think that obviously Palpatine became even more powerful in this movie, right? He's had 40 years to kind of heal and became even better. So the idea that he's using like force puppetry or whatever, I'm totally. That's fine. I don't like that. That's because he said that I was every voice in your head. I was always Snoke. I was always, so.
Because Snoke had force powers. Remember The Last Jedi? He was fucking draining Rey.
Yeah.
And he used the Force lightning also.
Yep.
On Kylo Ren. So I'm sure that's going to be fleshed out a little bit more through books and comics and video games and whatnot.
Come on, you gotta hurry up, man.
In the other movies, when Snoke was walking, the Emperor probably cloaked, like a clone.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're saying. He got it. Little man said the same thing. He was like, that was probably Return of the Jedi was a deflated ball pass then. Noble Young says, man, I hated that movie. I don't understand that, Mr. Young. I don't understand how you could hate this movie because it was just fun. I don't understand how you could hate any movie that J.J. Abrams does because it's a very fun movie. And for people that like, if anything, I should be the one complaining about this movie because it undoes a lot of the movie that I liked, which was the last one. There's so many of these friggin' things.
Does it though? What does it undo? There was nothing really established.
No, it really didn't. It just kind of like fleshed out like whatever was there already, you know. It seems like okay. I want to. James Belk says Knights of Ren didn't get much focus. I like to learn more of their background. You're going to get that in an animated series. Mark my words. In 2 years.
No, there's a Marvel book that's the first issue is out now. It's Kylo Ren. I think it's called The Birth of Kylo Ren or something. I don't know, but that book starts off with the burning of the Jedi Temple.
So Star Wars is notorious for doing that. You get a little blurb in the movie, and then you got to go off and seek every book and comic and merchandise you can to fill in all these blanks, you know, which I don't think is a big issue. It's like I see a lot of people telling me that when I'm like, I hate the prequels, and they're like, oh, but you got to see the Clone Wars, but you got to read this, but you got to see that. It makes it better. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to do that in order to make the movie better. The movie should just be good. Whereas this movie I thought was just good. And now if I get extra stuff, that's cool too.
Dude, when you have 2.5 hours every 2 or 3 years to tell a story, you can't flesh out everything and everyone.
Right. Exactly.
And if you do, people are gonna complain that it's bogged down in exposition like they're complaining about this one.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand. The movie was action, non-stopping with the action. At one point I was like, Jesus Christ, they want to give me a minute to like breathe here. Like I just saw something really cool. Let my brain heal. So
where are we at with the movie? So then
so he gets the Wayfinder, he goes, he sees Palpatine, you see the clones, and now Palpatine is talking to him and telling him you need to go out and kill Rey. Then we go to the good guys. Now, when we catch back up with the good guys, you see the Millennium Falcon doing like light speed jumping, kind of, where they're like jumping from planet to planet.
Speed skipping, right?
Yeah, light speed skipping. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I thought it was cool, but I'm a little worried about like how that friggin' works.
Yeah, the only thing that bothered me was that Solo said, like, you know, jumping a light speed, kid, isn't no walk in the park. You got to wait for like the coordinates to get calibrated, or you'll fly into something.
Exactly.
Now, it can mean one of two things. Now it could mean that they were doing that over the last few years, and Poe, because he's a psycho, learned how to do that, and technically that makes Poe a better pilot than Han Solo, or because what we find out in Solo with LG being part of the Falcon, because she's so advanced now, maybe that, you know, they find a new way to push the Falcon into doing things maybe Han Solo never knew it could do, or they never tried doing. I don't know. To me, that did seem a little off because I thought of that too. I was like, wow, they're just going from. It made for a great effect.
Yeah, but then also the ships that were chasing also were doing the same thing too.
Yes, that's right. You see here, this is what I find interesting in that it's but you know what, I could maybe they will lock onto their signature. Remember when they were
the light speed tracking, right?
The light speed tracking. So they're basically just following them in the same kind of like wherever you go, we're going and following.
Well, look, it looked kind of cool. You know, that monster that popped up and shit, and they had to evade was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's like an Empire Strikes Back kind of shout out I got from that. You know,
I guess, you know, if you're going to keep making new stuff, new movies, you have to introduce new things to keep things fresh, right?
New concepts, new force powers, just things have to kind of also be new, like you just said, in order to keep it fresh and to introduce us into newer concepts and stuff. I mean, this has been going on, like Noble just said, for 40 years. They lied to me for 40 years, he says. They lied to me for 40 years.
Okay, so the Falcon, what you call it? They had got information through a spy, right?
Yes.
And they got the information. Then the First Order shows up, and then that's when they went into the light speed skipping thing. They get away and they meet up with Rey somewhere. What planet was that? She was on some planet training with Leia. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about that. Leia actually being the one to train Rey. What do you think?
It's awesome. I mean, just like all us old school fans have been waiting to see Grandmaster Luke, we've been waiting to see Jedi Leia, right? So,
and you kind of get that a little bit in this movie. I think that I know a lot of people hated the whole when did she learn how to use the Force? Why does Leia the whole Mary Poppins thing through space? I'm like, to me, in my head, I'm like, she would have learned something in 40 years or 30 years, whatever it was, from Luke, I would guess. But you actually see Luke training her. So she becomes really, really skilled in the Force, and then realizes she gets the Force vision that her son is gonna, she has the same basic vision that Luke does, except the son's not born yet. So Leia kind of already knew the whole time of what was going to happen. Luke was kind of blinded to that, and then it kind of crept up on him.
Kev's Matrix says he watched it 3 times already on Cody.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm guessing Kev liked it.
I'm gonna be seeking. Is it a good copy though?
Yeah, is it a good copy? I don't know. I heard it wasn't that great. If it is, that's great. Awesome. Decent end to a decent trilogy. I like that. I'm not that my opinion matters worth a shit, but I think that's pretty cool. Even if you weren't that crazy about the trilogy, I think that it was a good end to this trilogy, regardless whether you liked it or not. This was a very good ending. For me, it was just a good capstone on everything, but whatever. Let's keep it moving here. I liked it. She, as a Jedi, seemed to keep her mind right more than Luke. Yes, and that makes perfect sense because remember, Leia was raised by the dignitaries who obviously, what's his face knows how to raise kids. Jimmy Smits knows how to raise a child and keep them level headed and kind of like chill, which she kind of always was, whereas Luke was more the petulant kind of whiny child that was, I guess more powerful, but at the same time, Luke historically, even though we have this whole space Jesus thing with him, when him and Leia were together, he was always the more like, oh, but what about this and that? And Leia's like, give me the gun, fly boy. She's more focused and kind of like taking control of the situation and more in control of her emotions, it seems like, even from way back when.
Okay, so they get the information from the spy that the Emperor's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they want to take the fight to him now. So now they have to find this. Oh no! So actually, this is important. Rey hears this and goes back to the Jedi texts.
Yes.
Okay, that that didn't matter in the Last Jedi, and it was okay to burn them and all this shit. Right. She goes back to the Jedi text. And comes back and goes, I know a way to beat to take the fight to the Emperor, basically, right? Yeah. So they need to find this Sith dagger that will either is it the dagger or is it the Wayfinder? They need to find the Wayfinder, right?
They need to find the well, they didn't know they had to find the dagger initially. They knew that
right,
they had to find the Wayfinder, but the dagger was the thing to show them where the Wayfinder was.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Now, was that the first? That was the second Death Star, right? That they found on that planet, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole of the second Death Star. Okay.
Because that was a moon of Endor.
Oh, it was another moon.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, cool. I think that then you see Rey levitating with the rocks and then training. And what was cool was that they gave you, I thought of you actually when I saw this. When I thought of you when I was watching the movie was when Rey is doing all this cool shit in the jungle and she's flipping and she has like the blast shield on. She takes it off. She's blocking the blaster bolts. And then she gets distracted by Kylo Ren with the Force. And she starts like screwing up and getting shot. And then she has to like she fumbles and then recovers and almost screws up the obstacle course. So I was like, all right, they're showing you that she's powerful, but she's not all powerful. Like she still gets fucked up. Right. Like when she's in proximity, I guess, to Ren, or when he's like searching.
I liked in that scene when she was levitating with the rocks. That was a foreshadowing to what she does at the end with the whole "be with me, be with me."
Yes.
So right, yes. And she couldn't tap into it. Then at the end of the movie, she does. But we'll get to that later.
Kind of planted that paid off at the end of the movie. Good catch, man. Good freaking catch.
So where are we at? So they try to find the Wayfinder.
Hold on. What did you think of how they handled Leia? Let's take a piece of that now. What did you think of how they handled having Carrie Fisher in this movie? Because that was actually an actress with Carrie Fisher's face superimposed over it.
It was a little strange.
Was it?
I was a little bothered by it, but I understand it. Story-wise, it was needed.
The whole idea in the real world that we live with, having like an actor, a dead actor, show up in a later movie.
Yeah. It's a little creepy.
All right, so that's what bothered me. But I'm talking about just the execution of it for the movie itself. Technically, in the movie, were you taken?
It didn't take me out. It didn't take me out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Did it take you out? It wasn't like Superman's mustache that was digitally. No. That took me out. The Justice League. But it was fine. It was fine.
I thought that was fine. I thought that they were very clever in how they used Leia in this movie. Leia was in this movie a lot. She was in it a lot more than everyone else. Like like Luke and shit. They still found a way. It wasn't like, oh, they're gonna have Leia in for like 2 minutes of the movie. Like maybe all of her lines were like 2 minutes, but she was there. Like they were able to keep her in the movie in the background and doing shit. So that was pretty good. I thought it was very, very nice. Pulled on the heartstrings. I kind of teared up when I first saw her because I thought like wow, like the princess is still there even though she's not there, you know.
So they go to Pisana, right? And what was it? Luke, Finn, and not Luke. When I was saying Ray, Finn, and Poe, 3PO, Chewie, right? They go to this planet Pisana, another desert planet, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they find out they have to get the Sith dagger, right?
What I liked about this planet was that they gave us a desert planet without giving us Tatooine. It was less sand dunes and more like, it reminded me of like the Midwest kind of Midwest America, where there's like plateaus and like little rocky mountain formations, but still like kind of deserty, you know.
Hold on, James Belk, put that up, man. That's fucking hysterical. Yeah. It's true.
You want to just end the show?
Oh my god, it is so fucking true.
You're right.
Oh fuck. All right, but nothing's perfect, right?
All right, so they go to so then you see the dancing, the festival, and all that. I like the idea that the First Order is already kind of there. They have their hand in everything, and they gotta then they go on their little MacGuffin hunt, for the
right. They have to find Ochi, this alien named Ochi, and he has the fucking dagger, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they find his ship, and then Rey goes, "Oh, I know this fucking ship. It's the ship that she saw leaving and that she thought her parents were on."
Yep.
From The Force Awakens.
Basically, that guy, Ochi, or whatever his name was the assassin that killed her parents and took the ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like how Hawk's the spy.
Oh, we're getting to that. We're almost there. So you see Kylo Ren take the head. I thought there was a couple of vicious moments in this, dude. There was a couple of like when they took the head and put it on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they already had it on the table, and it was kind of like the green alien blood underneath it. And they were they cut the guy's head off basically, and they're like, "There's a spy in here," and they took that.
I could have sworn that fucking alien's name was Julio. Did he call him Julio? I was like, what? There's a alien named Julio?
I like how Kylo Ren took the guy out of the seat and like smashed him against the ceiling, and everyone was kind of "Oh, yes, sir." Yeah, like
he's got everyone terrified now.
Yeah, he's like surrounded now by yes men and shit. So
the snake, they come across this giant, terrifying fucking snake.
I thought that was cool. It was a cool like the return of like scary aliens in a Star Wars movie.
It was cool, but I was like, this is just to introduce the healing power that Rey has.
Yes, that was cool.
You know what I mean? Because honestly, you see a giant snake like that with fangs, that thing is going to eat you because they're going to see you as food. There's no like, oh, hold on, don't shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, shoot this motherfucker now. Like, she was like, oh, stop. And then she looked at its friggin' tail and saw that it was hurt or whatever, and she went over to heal it.
Yeah, I appreciate
that. That lost me a little bit in believability. Like, that was kind of contrived. That was just a scene just to show her new power.
Well,
that's where I come.
Yes. All right. Here's where I turn into a friggin' Star Wars nerd. In the Star Wars D&D game, you can force heal. So
No, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, if they should have shot that thing. If they turned around and saw that terrifying giant snake, why would they even hesitate?
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
what's his face? They were ready to go. Finn
yeah.
and Poe.
Now, why would she hesitate? You know,
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, maybe because okay, here we go again. But like maybe between the movies, when she was in the jungle, she was like healing creatures and shit, and
Right,
doing
okay.
that, communing with animals. You got to think of like the
Right,
light
okay.
side are like druids, right? Like the Jedi are
Mhm.
kind of like druids. Like they're like people of the land. I've always looked at them as live in peace and harmony with the galaxy and all the animals. They're like if Snow White had a lightsaber, she'd be Rey. She's talking to
Right.
animals and shit, but.
That's what I kind of thought too. But it's like we didn't see that, so
And
yeah. Whatever.
Conan wouldn't heal no snake.
There you go.
Oh man. So
what happens? And then what? Chewie gets taken by the First Order, right?
yes, Chewie gets taken by the First Order, which I thought was see it happened so that I have to mention this now. The movie, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, and if I see it again and like it even more, I may bump it up to like an 8.5. I didn't like it coming out of the theater as much as I liked The Last Jedi. I know it's coming out of the theater, but the more I think about it, there are things in this, like I liked pretty much everything in this movie, whereas in The Last Jedi, I didn't like the Canto Bite stuff, even when I saw it. So this movie kind of has to hold more weight in my own mind than The Last Jedi does, because even though I enjoyed The Last Jedi more when I was in the theater, I had things about The Last Jedi that I didn't like, whereas in this movie, I pretty much like everything I got. And one of those things, one of the problems I had was that the movie felt like you were shot out of a cannon and it didn't stop. Like he walks out to go follow, like they're like, oh, go call Rey and bring her back. And he steps out, and all you see is like the Kylo Ren guys over the shoulder, and the next thing you see him in cuffs and them taking him away. So I almost feel like there was a deleted scene there where like Chewie was fighting them off and they just beat his ass down and cuffed him and took him away. So I feel as though the movie actually had a few missed opportunities, but how much longer are you really going to make the movie?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of got Chewie going nuts and beating the shit out of people in the Solo movie. Did you really need to see him fuck up a few of the Knights of Ren before getting beaten down and taken away? Like, I guess it was necessary, so that's why they didn't do it. Although
I just thought I was like, oh, how did that happen? And I was like, maybe they just got the fucking drop on him.
Exactly. It's just like fill it in, keep going. Like when you read a comic, you can go from one panel to the next. You got to kind of, your brain has to fill in all.
Like he was surrounded and he had his fucking lasers on him, laser guns pointed at him, and he's just like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Put on a different transport. That was a different. That was a good little switcheroo thing.
Well, you see Rey like confront Kylo Ren for the first time in the movie, right? It's that scene that we saw in the first trailer where she's like running and Kylo Ren is trying to fucking ram her with his ship, and she does that backwards flip. She slices off one of the wings of his ship, and he goes tumbling. Explosion! Boom! Kylo Ren's fucking unharmed, of course. And what happens then? He was telling her that he had to push her or something.
Yeah, he knows who her real parents are and all that. That's when you get the first taste of that.
And then she sees she sees the transport.
Great scene, dude. What a great way to show her lash out dark side.
And then Finn comes over and says Chewie's on the ship. No, she senses it with the Force that Chewie's on that transport, right?
Yeah.
So then she fucking goes and stops the fucking transport from taking off. She's holding the transport in like a Force tractor beam or whatever the fuck.
First big pop of the movie where people were like, yeah, like, oh my God, we're seeing some like Star Wars video game type stuff, pulling, like in the Force Unleashed when you pull the Star Destroyer out of the sky. It kind of reminded me of that, like her holding it,
And then Kylo Ren is trying to release it, and they're having a Force, battle, and then he's starting to win, and then she flips out, she loses it, and Force lightning comes out of her fucking hands, and then the fucking ship blows up.
Oh, it was great. That was great. What is it?
When everyone in that room was speaking and that guy went choked up, I thought there was a deleted scene there where
Great. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, when they're in like the office building, he puts the head on the table.
We're past that.
Julio. He's talking about Julio.
Yeah.
Which has the head there.
Yeah. The basically the First Order came and whacked that guy and everybody that was there. So there was another like you have to kind of fill it in your mind like what happened.
Yeah, I'm just listening to you guys, and I'm actually pretty entertained just listening.
Well, that's cool. I wish I could have him on.
I like listening to.
So yeah, the HUD leashing out with the force lightning out of the fingertips and blowing it up was friggin' awesome, and it just showed her like, I guess that had to happen in order to show like that was like the seed being planted. Like, look what happens when you go the dark side. That was her, Luke looking at her the chopped off hand after seeing Vader on the ground. Like, oh shit! Like I better watch it leashing out like this.
What were you thinking? Because I know you didn't read any of the leaks. So when you saw
I was sitting there the whole movie like this. Like that was me the whole movie.
So were you like she's a Palpatine when you saw that?
No, I still didn't even. I didn't even think of it. I just thought that she was. When I saw that, it reminded me of her beating Kylo Ren in the first movie, and I always thought that when he says, "I can train you in the Force," because I just rewatched this scene the other night. Baz is gone all of a sudden, and Kylo Ren has the saber like to her, and he's like, "You need a teacher. I could teach you," and she's holding the saber back. Hold on. All right, you catch what I just said?
No.
All right, so it reminded me of the scene in The Force Awakens when he's like, "You need a teacher," and she like closes her eyes and then starts whipping his ass. In the book, she hears Palpatine's voice in her head going, "Kill him, kill him." So that reminded me of like, oh shit, she's like tapping back into the dark side. Then I thought of the trailer when you see her as Dark Ray, and I said, "Are you really gonna fucking turn her in the middle of the movie?" Like, and then where are they gonna go from there? You know? So I thought like, oh shit, maybe she is gonna turn to the dark side, and they're gonna do like a double switch where he becomes the light and she becomes the dark. You know?
Okay, so they leave that planet, right? The heroes get away, and then they have the dagger, right? They find out C-3PO could read it, but his programming doesn't allow him to translate it to anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
To me, that was a little like, okay, we could have did without that a little bit. It was interesting to say the least, but what I thought to myself was, why doesn't he just download the information into R2 and R2 can tell him?
Hold on, we didn't make it clear enough. There's information written on the dagger,
right? On
the Sith dagger that they need to find the Wayfinder,
right?
So then Poe. Poe says, "Hey, I know somebody that could help us. Reprogram C-3PO."
Yeah.
So they go to this other planet to find this person that can help them, and we get some fleshed out Poe over here. We find out a little bit more about Poe's background. We find out he's a ex-spice runner.
Yep. Nice. That was cool. I think that because the movie jumped a lot of locations, it felt like the movie was constantly fresh. Like always something going on. It felt like here's something else to look at. Here's something else to look at. Look at the way this planet runs. Look at the way, this looks like. Now we're going to have a semi-snowy kind of inner city slum looking thing. It reminded me of like the Star Wars version of the Narrows from Batman Begins. So
okay, so we meet up with Poe's one of Poe's ex friends or whatever teammates. Like he used to run with the seedy crowd. This woman's a bounty hunter. Her name is Zori Bliss, and she's fucking awesome. She has an excellent character design. Very Star Wars. Great actress playing her. What'd you think of that character?
I want to see I want to see her doing some cool shit because she looks like she could like throw down, or like she's like maybe a crack shot or something, or she had like I almost want to. It almost see that this movie was done also smartly in that it left you going like, I want to see what went on with her and Poe. Like an adventure of her, and you're not going to get a movie, but like you can get a comic or a cartoon episode about her and Poe or some shit. It makes you want to see more about this character. It wasn't like, oh, here's a new character and they suck, Yeah,
like, well, they obviously had like some sort of romantic relationship, and he left.
Yep.
He went to join the rebellion, and left her, and she's bitter over it. But throughout the movie, any scene they're in, like, you can tell she still likes him, and he tries to flirt with her, and she plays hard to get, and it's a cool dynamic.
It was a natural, non-forced chemistry. See how I don't want to see a real director, because I know a lot of people don't like J.J. Abrams, and I don't want to shit on George Lucas here because we're trying to focus on this movie, but subtlety goes a long way in developing romance in a movie, and you don't have to have mushy romance in order to get something that feels organic and there's a little sexual tension there. You know what I'm saying, between the two characters. So that would have went a long way in the prequels for Anakin and Padme. I believed more in this love story. the whole 10 minutes it got, not even 5 minutes it got.
Danny Lee says, "Nice butt." Yes, I agree. So Zori Bliss leads the team to Babu Frick, this little tiny alien. He's fucking awesome. He was hysterical in this friggin' movie.
Yeah,
and he's successful in he has to actually mind wipe C-3PO in order for him to read the what's on the dagger, the inscription on the dagger.
Right.
Which basically kind of it doesn't kill C-3PO. It just, he forgets everything. Right. Yeah. So
yeah. I know that when they mind wiped 3PO, that was a touching scene. And then a guy in the audience, when he got his memory back, even though it was a screwed up version of the memory, because R2's can't really hold on to shit all that well, but he kind of had it. A guy in the audience, sitting a few seats away, went, "Oh, thank God!" When he got the memory back.
But I thought 3PO was hysterical throughout the movie when he was he had the mind wipe because he was shit was going down. He was like, "Oh, my first laser fight." And it's dude, you've been in a lot of laser fights.
Yeah, exactly.
And he mentioned somebody mentioned Babu Frick, and he's like, "Oh, Babu Frick, he's my oldest friend."
They turned him into a senile old lady.
Yeah, he was funny. I mean,
that was how you do real. That was really good comic relief with him.
Yeah,
the whole when they fell in the hole in the snake pit, and he was like, Poe is like, "Where's Ray? Where's Finn?" And he's like, "I'm here, but you didn't call my name. I'm fine."
This is the best 3PO in the whole new sequel series.
Yeah. Well, you also got a lot of him. You got a lot of 3PO in this movie, which was cool. It was nice to have an old school character with the team almost the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Danny Lee says, "I was kind of hoping they were going to convert 3PO into kill mode for a final battle. I thought they were going to do that too when they were kind of giving him all the equipment, go hand this to Chewbacca, go give him his shit. We freed him." I thought he was going to put it on and start running down the halls whacking dudes, but that might have been a little bit jarring. I kind of wanted that, and on the flip side, I was thinking I don't know, would that have pissed off a lot of people? All of a sudden now he's a fucking assassin droid or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Now Ren and the First Order come down to that planet looking for them, right?
Yep.
But they go up and onto Kylo Ren's destroyer.
Yeah.
So they go, into the heart of the friggin', the den of the lion.
Yeah.
Basically, to rescue Chewie.
I thought the First Order going through that town was very old World War II footage. It totally reminded me of the Nazis kicking in doors. It's me actually reading a novel right now about World War II, and it's a fictionalized. It's like a fictional story based around the true events of World War II. So there's a lot of Nazis kicking in doors and people running and hiding and tanks and paratroopers and shit. So it reminded me a lot of that from the book we're reading, but obviously done Star Wars style. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So they were able to get onto the First Order ship with a pass, some sort of pass that Zori Bliss had. It was some sort of First Order pass that allows you to go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So they get on the ship, they free Chewie, right? And what happens? They get caught again, right, by the stormtroopers. Except Rey gets into Kylo Ren's quarters, right? And then that's when Kylo Ren and her have the Force bond.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep. I like how in the last movie it was Force FaceTime, and in this movie it was they were there with each other. It's almost like a wormhole and the Force opens up time kind of slows down for everything else, and they're living in like this limbo kind of thing going on, where they're able to connect to each other. That was very well done. So it was almost like their powers. It was like an evolution of the power from the last movie. Like what's the next, logical step for this power to develop into?
And they were able to have a lightsaber battle.
That was awesome. They found a way to keep them involved with one another while keeping them separate. So eventually you knew when they really did meet and show down with each other, it was like, like they kept the tension kind of building.
Now, he can't see her location, though, when he's in the Force Bond. So he doesn't know where she is until they're having the lightsaber fight and the lightsabers clash. And that's where that scene you see where they knock over Vader's helmet.
And Vader's helmet appears next to him.
Right. And then he goes, oh, she's in my headquarters. Right. So bang.
Yeah. That was cool. It's like she's fighting him in his chambers and he's fighting her on the streets of that planet. So from his perspective, they're standing in front of each other where he is, and the opposite for her. So I thought that was really like an interesting new way to give us a lightsaber battle.
It looked cool as fuck. What's up, Robert, just the fan? Thanks for joining us. Did you see the movie, or you don't care about spoilers?
So, it's almost like Baz's birthday? ? Everyone's been wishing you a fucking happy birthday, bro.
That's not my birthday. It's like they must be friends with me because I have two Facebook accounts. Yes. One of them has my real birthday. The other one has a fake birthday. And I picked today to be the fake birthday.
See what's funny?
But the funny thing is, though, there's a birthday party going on in the house that I live at. It's my girlfriend's sister birthday, and they're having this big fucking party. So it is somebody's birthday. So by just coincidence, so it's pretty funny. That's why if you notice, like behind me, like I'm in my bedroom.
Yeah,
like because they're out in the living room, like fixing each other up and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a long night.
Pretty much. Do we expect more Rey movies? Yes or no? Moisture farming episodes? No. You're not getting any of these characters in anything ever again. Live action. However, I could almost guarantee you that they're going to be doing appearances on video games and voiceovers for cartoons and shit like that. You're totally getting that. James Belk says, fuck it. Happy birthday, Baz.
Thanks, man. It's somebody's birthday. So her name is Rosie Bell. Say happy birthday, Rosie Bell. There you go. Instead of Baz.
Feel like a movie made for me. I wish them the best, though. Yeah, well, I mean, Luke had to die eventually one way or the other. Either he was dying like the way he did, or he was dying the way we spoke about this last week, the way like Obi-Wan would have died or something. So one way or the other, Luke wasn't going to keep existing forever.
All right, so what happens after this? Where are we at? So he finds out like where she is. They go to the Knights of Ren and Kylo Ren. They haul it back up to Kylo Ren's destroyer. And then what happens?
They leave. No, they escape the destroyer. Yeah, they escape the destroyer with the help of a spy. There is a spy amongst the Empire right now. I thought this was very well done and kind of pretty much completely explains Hux's character. Spoiler: Hux is the spy. I had this conversation with Tommy T. Baz about Hux being like this. Like, there's no way that, like, imagine Grand Moff Tarkin being the Hux in The Last Jedi when Poe shows up and he's like, I want to speak to Hux. Yeah, I'm trying to speak. And he's trolling him with the phone call. Grand Moff Tarkin would have been like, point all your blasters at that ship and destroy it right now. Like, that's how every real admiral is. Whereas Hux isn't a real admiral because he's so wrapped up like a child trying to gain favor over Kylo Ren. He's like, I don't care if we fail. I need to succeed because he needs to fail with Kylo Ren. So him being the spy kind of excuses all that, him really not being an effective leader because he's really not. He's just like a fucking, he's really not a natural leader.
And so he actually tells the crew that he saves them. They're about to get executed. Poe and Finn and Chewie. They're about to get executed by a group of stormtroopers. what's his name? Hux comes in, saves them, kills the stormtroopers, and goes, "I'm the spy," right?
Yeah.
And then they turn around and
everyone
Poe,
started laughing when he went, "I'm the spy."
and then Poe, and then Finn goes, "You," right? And then Poe goes, "I knew it." and then Finn goes, "No, you didn't." Right? And he explains to them, he goes, I don't care if you guys win. He goes, I just want Kylo Ren to lose. He fucking hates Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was cool, man. I thought that was well done. And then when he's like, all right, shoot me in the arm so they know it's like legit, they shoot him in the leg instead. And the next time you see Hux, he's standing on the bridge and there's that other admiral that was like the real admiral, played by that British dude from the Spice Girl movie. And he's like, yeah, they held me hostage. They shot me and they escaped. And he goes, oh, really? Okay, cool. Dispatch something to these coordinates. And he just grabs a gun and turns around and bucks him right in the chest.
So Hux gets murdered, yeah.
Hux is dead. I was like, oh, shit. So that was cool. The Deep Throat Hux plotline was cool. So
once again, and then Kylo meets up with Rey on the destroyer, and then offers his hand again to her, and she's like, she's tempted, and then all of a sudden, in the background, you see the Millennium Falcon come up from behind her.
She was gonna join him there. I thought she was gonna just turn around, and I was like, okay, she's either gonna join him and keep her cool and pretend so she can get close to the Emperor to kill him, and that's gonna be the twist. I did not expect her to like leave again, because I was like, oh, if she leaves again, where is this gonna go? Like how are they gonna resolve this if she just leaves again? And now they're separate again, and they got to come back together again. So I was kind of like, huh?
Oh, we missed. Okay, how was Lando's cameo? Lando was excellent. We forgot to mention him that they ran into him on the desert planet Pisana.
Yes, he's the dude that kind of helps them. They need help to his. Oh, that's right. So they're on the desert planet. They have that whole action sequence with the speeder bikes and the jet troopers, who were awesome.
They fly.
Yeah, they fly. That was it. It was fine. It was fine. No, they didn't blow up the Falcon. The Falcon's fine. And then they get cornered, and there's a dude in disguise, and it was like who the hell is this dude in disguise? And he pulls off the disguise, and it's like, oh shit, it's Lando in disguise doing his Return of the Jedi kind of like.
He sounds as smooth as ever, and he looks great. It's like Lando's back, man. It was a great feeling seeing him.
Yeah, and he wasn't just
so they get
he's in the movie, like he comes back. So
Ray and the team, they get off the Kylo Ren's Star Destroyer, and they go to the one of the moons on Endor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they find the that piece of the friggin' Death Star, the third Death Star, laying in the ocean.
Yes. So it's like she has to get there, and they're like, you got to wait until morning. And she's like, there's no time left. We have to go now. So she just bounces from everybody and jumps on like a sailboat, like a Star Wars sailboat, kind of Star Wars equivalent of a sailboat, and kind of flies out there. And Finn's like, no, we have to go and help her. And then that's when you see the new girl with the bow and arrow that helps him. The girl with the afro and the bow and arrow. I forget her name.
Jana. Her name is Jana.
Yeah. And
she's with a group of people who actually they turn out to be ex-stormtroopers, just like Finn did. And there's a great scene between Finn and her, and they find out that they both did the same thing. And she asks him, "Why did you do it?" And he goes,
"I'll tell you what. At first, I thought when they had the same backstory, I was like, oh, that's a little contrived. What are the odds of him running into a black woman that has the exact same experience that he does?" And then the next line out of her mouth was, "They're kidnapping kids all over the galaxy and doing this to them." So I was like, okay, done. That's all you needed, was that one little line for me to go.
Right. The first order was kidnapping the children of rebellion or galactic, whatever. What are they called? What's the government called? New Republic, right? New Republic heroes. Their children. They were stealing them as a way to get back at them. And actually, when Lando lost his kid, also they didn't. That was, I think, that they cut those scenes with Lando about his daughter being kidnapped and all this stuff.
Which was Jana,
which was supposed to be Jana, but they didn't put it in the movie.
right?
But yeah, so they find out that hey, they have something in common, and this is like the potential of Finn's character being used here in this scene.
In this movie, I thought Finn was very handed probably the best in this movie. This was like the best version of him, I thought, in all three movies. He wasn't.
You find out he is force sensitive.
Yeah, kinda. He is a little force sensitive. Yeah, he's like, I don't know why, but it's like very slight. He could just kind of feel shit. Like I have a feeling. I kind of have a feeling this is going to happen in that or whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't really mind it.
Well, that was he said it was the force that he goes. Jana asked him, why did you defect? Why did you not go along with the stormtroopers and do whatever? He said it was a feeling. It was the force, and he was like the force brought me to Rey and to the rebellion and all this stuff. So we find out Finn is force sensitive. So I thought that added the necessary meat to that character that was lacking in The Last Jedi, where he became basically Rose Tico's sidekick in that film. So
how'd you feel about the handling of Rose in this movie? I thought she was fine too. I thought she was like appropriate.
She was in the background.
Yeah.
Where she belongs.
She was there. She had a couple of lines. You saw her doing stuff, but like over there, so that was fine. Okay, so moving along, she goes and finds the Wayfinder, and Kylo Ren shows back up again. Like Kylo Ren is on her ass in this movie.
It's in the throne room. She finds the throne room, the old Emperor's throne room, and Kylo Ren fucking shows up. Then they have an excellent fucking lightsaber battle.
That was a good lightsaber battle, man.
Oh my god, that was so good, man. And Kylo Ren fucking won.
Yeah, Kylo Ren just straight up beat her down. Like that was.
He got a W. She was exhausted. She was like, he kept swinging, and she had no answer for him.
Yep.
And it took Leia had to force project herself to Kylo, and then that distracted Kylo long enough for Rey to friggin' get him right in the friggin' gut. She fucking impaled and almost kills him.
Last movie, doesn't she pull the move from the last movie where she grabs the saber and gets him right in the chest with it? Didn't they pull a move like that? I don't remember. When she drops the saber and grabs it, and
yeah, I don't think that happened in this.
That didn't happen. All right, so she guts Kylo Ren, and Leia has to tap into the Force in order to she has I have to try to save my kid, kind of she has that kind of realization. So she does. You don't see it, but it's implied that she kind of does the same thing that Luke did in the last movie, where she projects herself across the galaxy. I'll kill you. So she does it kind of and visits him in his mind, but you don't see this. It's implied. That's what I got from it, at least.
Right.
And he just drops his saber and he's kind of has that mother, moment, and it snaps him out of being a dark side. Rey stabs him, basically kills him, and then as he's dying, she force heals him and brings him back
and tells him, I want to join you, but
I want to join Ben. I don't want to join Kylo Ren. So then that gives him the wake up call he needs, kind of. And then even if that still wasn't enough, he picks up his saber and he gets a visit from the cat. I did not know this was happening.
Hold on, before you go there, we forgot the whole. Kylo Ren told her that Palpatine was her grandfather.
That's right. That was
in the scene
he says, that's
in
right.
the throne room, right? This is where she tells him.
Yep.
Okay.
So she finds out Palpatine is
so your parents were nobody's by choice. Yeah.
Yes. Good way to do both. Good way to satisfy the people that wanted her to come from nothing and the people that wanted her to be related to somebody. There was a good balance there. JJ pretty much just was given a puzzle. Someone just dumped Legos in front of him and went, fix this. Now remember, I don't think he needed to fix anything, but I'm very unique in this, and that I actually like The Last Jedi. So I think he did the impossible and made a miracle happen with what he was given. So, I'm sorry.
Okay, so all right. So now she finds out who she is, right? She's Palpatine's granddaughter, right? So then she takes. So then,
hold on 1 second,
who
Baz.
does Kylo see?
Answer this in the chat. I'm gonna put this up real quick. Clone Trooper walks into a pub and asks the barman, "Hey, have you seen my brother?" "I don't know," says the barman. "What does he look like?" "I don't know." That just reminded me of something that happened in the movie. I don't know if he's trying to tell a joke or nothing. Oh, haha, yeah, Clone Trooper. That reminds
He's a clone. Yeah.
The scene in the bar. You know who the bartender was, right? The old man with the gray hair and the patch on his eye. That was Williams.
Mm-mm.
That was what's his face? John Williams.
John Williams.
Yeah, he was
an
old man. He had like a cybernetic patch on his eye, and he was the bartender in that.
He's biggest components of fucking Star Wars' success, so he deserves a cameo.
Wow. No, Dave. It took me out of it because it reminded me of that scene in the movie when I saw Barman, and I was like, "Wait a second, is he trying to refer to that?" But yeah, I do get it. That it was a joke. I know. I'm not that stupid.
All right, this next scene is one of my favorite fucking scenes. I almost teared up. I had to fight. I had to bring all the manliness in my body to fight the tears.
Right.
So I'm not a big sobbing fucking mess of fanboy fucking, sitting in the theater. Han Solo shows up.
Yes. Han Solo shows up, and I'm going to put this up here for a second because I didn't even think of this, actually. Oh, I didn't even think about that was Leia being Han. I thought he was just talking to himself. So when Han shows up, is it possible that that's Leia's Force Ghost talking to him through his father? Or is that just totally in his fucking head?
I don't give a fuck. Make up your own reasons. It was just a great scene. It was just it mirrored the fucking the death scene on the bridge from The Force Awakens, but with of course a better outcome.
Yeah. No, it was good. That's how you make movies rhyme, George. Okay. So and that's what breaks him out of the dark side, makes him become Ren. He takes his he has his moment where he throws it into the when he threw the lightsaber into the ocean. It reminded me of in the movie Half Baked at the end when Thurgood takes the joint and throws it off the bridge.
Fucking really, bro? Half Baked.
It did. My crazy mind, bro. So anyways, so he comes as whatever. The father shows up. Yeah, I know. He gets rid of the lightsaber, and now he realizes he has to go now and track down Rey and let her know, like, "Hey, I'm Ben. Like, we could be together now." So Rey leaves and goes to. She disappears for a while in the movie, and then they go back to the rebellion.
Where does she go? No. Where does she go, dude? She goes to Octu.
That's right. She goes to Octu. That's right. Oh my God, this will get so much shit in it. She goes back to Octu, and she destroys her ship, the ship that her parents. Because now she's using the ship that her parents dropped her off in. I think, right? She destroys it, or was it just a TIE? No, it was a Kylo Ren's TIE fighter. She hijacks his TIE fighter and burns it, and goes to throw away her saber, right? And she throws the saber into the fire, and then bang, Luke catches the saber, bro. And he's like, "That's no way to treat a Jedi."
He goes, "Fuck you, Rian Johnson."
Oh my God! Then a giant middle finger does this to the screen.
Rock catches the fucking saber. His Force Ghost comes out of the flames, and he says, "I was wrong."
Yep.
Ren chose pussy.
I'm gonna do what you did. I'm cutting myself off. That's it. And he's like, "No." He's like, "What happened to me was fear." Like, so.
Yeah, he was ruled by fear, man. That's why he stayed on the island. Fear ruled him. I want to see what led up to Luke going into Kylo Ren's bedroom that night. I want to see like maybe fucking the Emperor was feeding Luke these dark thoughts about Kylo.
Dude, the Emperor in this movie was so powerful at this point. He had Well, let's get to that. We'll get to that. I don't know. You said
okay.
don't skip over any of your notes. Is there anything like check your notes real quick? Are we missing things? No, we're about
What's
through.
All right, so Luke, tells her that she has to confront Palpatine. Kind of like the way Obi-Wan told Luke that he had to confront Vader.
Yep.
And then she's like, I don't have a ship. I don't have it. He's like, you have everything you need.
Oh,
and they get
Yoda moment, right?
He lifts up the friggin' Luke's submerged, TIE fighter.
X-Wing.
And extra, yeah, X-Wing, and then I know, and then what's called? There was two wayfinders. Kylo Ren had a wayfinder that was in Kylo Ren's ship, so they were able to actually get Kylo Ren's wayfinder from his ship.
He says to her, he's your grandfather, and we're gonna go and get him together and take him out. And she's like, no. And he crushes the wayfinder, and he's like, now you're not getting there unless you have me. So that's what, she had to go and find the other wayfinder, kind of. So she goes and meets with Luke.
Dude, I have to back out.
Okay. You coming back? All right. Okay. So we'll hope Basil join us again, hopefully shortly. So I hope I don't skip anything. So she gets the second wayfinder. Luke gives her the saber back and goes, I have something for you. And then that's when she gets Leia's saber, and Luke gives her the background, and you see Luke training Leia in the jungles of Endor. And he's like, he tells her that, Leia had a vision about her son, and that's why she cut herself off from the Force. So, did I miss anything?
So where are we at?
So Luke is telling her, here's Leia's lightsaber. And, this is what Leia saw. This is why she didn't become a Jedi and finish her training, because she had saw that she had the vision of her son, our unborn son, one day becoming this evil ruler, kind of. So she bounces and is like, no, I want no part of this. Which is funny because it's almost like if maybe she would have stayed, maybe Kylo Ren wouldn't have turned. It's almost like the things you do in life sometimes inevitably, that she makes the same mistake that her father makes, that Anakin made. Mm-hmm. Anakin tries everything he can to stop Padme from dying, and in turn, it causes Padme to die and everything to turn out the way it does. So Leia makes the same mistake. This is how movies rhyme, you fucking turkey neck. And then she does something out of good, and it winds up turning out bad anyway. So, okay, would you go see it again, Rob? Yes, I would definitely go see it again. I probably have to see it again because there's just so much shit in this movie. It is like stuffed to the gills with stuff, to the point where you're like, this was one of my complaints about the movies. I didn't have time to think about things happening because I was already into a new scene with new dialogue. It was like, holy shit, that just happened. Wait, now we're over here. What just, I can't process this. So he leaves, takes her saber, jumps in Luke's X-Wing, puts the helmet on. That got the next big pop in the theater when she put the helmet on and was flying Luke's X-Wing. So back on the other planet, the rebellion's like, how are we going to find that? They find out what the Emperor is up to. Basically, they have a fleet of Star Destroyers, and each Star Destroyer has the ability to destroy a planet now. Like they retrofitted the Death Star power beam to be on every Star Destroyer. And there's like hundreds of them that rise out of the water, and he's like, I'll give you this new fleet. He's telling Kylo Ren when you see the fleet rise out of the water and all that bullshit. So they destroy the planet, the Empire or whatever the fuck. They're called the Final Order now. This is called the Final Order. And they destroy a planet. They're like, how are we going to contest with this? And Lando's like, we have each other and we have friends out there. Don't worry. We'll go out. Give me the Falcon with Chewie and a few people. We're going to go out and get people and show up. Just go and be like, how we're going to find Palpatine. So it comes up on their computer that Rey is leaving a trail for them to space jump, to track them through space in order to find where the Exegol is, or whatever it's called, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Poe gets Black Squadron, and they go and they follow her through light speed to go do an initial attack, and a ground attack at the same time on the Star Destroyers. And they find out the only way we're going to be able to disable the Star Destroyers is to stop them from being able to reach light speed and taking off in the first place. Because in Exegol, it's like some kind of weird gravitational field that surrounds that planet. that you can't just take off from. You need like some kind of like ultimate power force beacon, fucking, I don't know, some coordinated thing that allows you to take off for some shit. And they got to destroy the tower in order to stop them.
Yeah, there's some sort of satellite or something they had to destroy, and then they only had like a few minutes before it got rebooted.
Right. So they go there while Chewie and what's this and Lando and the Falcon and a few other people go to find help. You know, basically the reason why no one came and helped them in the last movie is that the First Order had them living in fear of joining. Like everyone was like kind of living in fear. It goes to show you how powerful Palpatine was. He had. I think that the dark side works in that, like, correct me if I'm wrong. In a Freddy Krueger movie, Freddy Krueger gains his power from you being afraid of him, right? He's like the boogeyman. He becomes more powerful. Yeah. So if there's that much fear and anger and anguish in the galaxy, that would only feed into the power of the dark side, right?
Of course.
The emotions you have. So, and because Palpatine was the one beacon of the dark side, he's basically feeding on all this negative energy.
Fear leads to hate. They're connected.
So there you go. So he's kind of like becoming even more and more powerful. So he's hooked up to like this like life support system that's like basically feeding him fucking Bacta or whatever it is to keep him alive. And
hold on, I want before we get into that, I want to talk about just before the rebellion. Well, I keep calling the rebellion the fucking resistance, right?
Yeah.
Before the resistance goes to Exegol, what's his name is having doubts. Poe is having doubts about him being able to be an effective leader because now he's the general. He's taking Leia's place now that Leia has passed away.
Yeah.
So he's like questioning himself and he's all upset. And then fucking this happens twice in the movie. Poe has his moments of doubt, and then freaking Lando comes in, which just fucking pep talks the fuck out of him. Yep. It's almost like Lando is his Jiminy Cricket, like his
conscience talking to him, like wake up.
Yeah. So he gives him a nice pep talk, and he tells him like, Poe asks Lando like, "How did you guys do it?" And he's like, "We did it because we had each other."
Yeah, we.
So
they also give Leia a nice send off. They do like a little mini funeral for Leia, and they put like a shroud over her body and stuff, and everyone's sad and shit. And that's
she disappears like all of them when they die. She just
yeah. So they then go. So she goes to Exegol. She lands. She confronts Palpatine, and Palpatine's feeding her the whole, "This is your lineage. You have come to kill me, and that's exactly what I want." He tells her, right? He's like, "You have to kill me because all the spirits of the dark side reside in me, and once you kill me, it's going to transfer to you, and you can take your place as Empress on this throne." Because she tells Finn,
it's like some sort of ritual. You hear all this chanting. There's like thousands of Sith, like in that room chanting.
Yeah,
they're in like it's very satanic.
Grayson goes, "They're in an arena. That's not a throne room. It's in an arena, like a coliseum kind of." And like they're all these druids are in the stands watching them, like praying and doing that dark side Sith bullshit.
So is that what he was trying to get Luke to do also? For Luke to strike him down in anger?
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yep. You strike me down in anger, and then you become like, it's pretty much the dark side. It seems like the dark side needs to have its avatar, and the light side needs to have its avatar in the universe at all times. So he kills whatever. Anyways, so he's like, "If you strike me down, you'll become the new me. That's actually your throne." And she tells Finn when she blows up the thing earlier in the movie, Finn's like, "Oh, what did you see?" She goes, "I saw me like on the dark side throne. Like I'm like, I saw myself kind of being evil and turning into this dark side character." So anyways, she's stuck in a predicament that if she kills the Emperor, if she allows the Emperor to live, the whole resistance dies. Because
he's shooting like lightning out, right? At the ships, the resistance ships.
Yeah, no,
which is
that
like
happened later on. That
yeah.
happened afterwards. Right now, they're still doing like the ground troops. They try to like,
Oh, okay.
like
All right.
they're like jam the transmissions of the speeder bikes and shut them down. Like put on like an EMP pulse, and they're like they're not on speeders, sir. And then the doors open, and the ground attack forces are all those space horses, which I thought was great. I was like, this is like how you do space horses the right way, where like you have them kind of fighting them in a very like it was almost like how like the Ewoks had to fight the Empire with like sticks and stones. Now we're gonna fight the Empire without them being able to jam our transmissions or any of that bullshit because we're doing manual. We're not doing digital, you know. So
now when this is going on, Ben comes to Exegol also.
Yes,
he's not Kylo Ren anymore. He's Ben Solo.
He gets surrounded by the Knights of Ren, and the Knights of Ren start beating him down. They just start beating his ass, and he's kind of like beaten down. And he looks at now you're like he threw away his lightsaber, but Rey has two sabers. Rey has Vader's saber, and she has Leia's saber, right? So, well, Luke's saber and Leia's saber, right? So they have that thing where they could force grab shit to each other. So she teleports through the Force the Vader's Anakin's saber, right, to him. Then he gets the saber and just whacks all the Knights of Ren, picking them up, crushing them, throwing them off of cliffs, and just chopping them to bits.
That was excellent.
That was awesome. So then she has the other saber, and she's playing like this mind game. So Palpatine's like, "Look, your forces are intogether." He does the same bullshit he does to Luke, and she does the same. Like, I'm not, I'm not going to turn dark side. And he's like, "Look," the Emperor tells her, "either you join me, or you don't even join me. You kill me. You become me, and you stop your friends from dying, or you choose the light side, and everyone you know dies." That's the best way to give that hero's choice, that impossible hero's choice. Because now, anyone that strikes down the Emperor becomes the Emperor. Like they don't like not really the Emperor, but they become like consumed by the dark side and the hate in their heart. You strike me down in anger, you'll become me, kind of bullshit.
Now, meanwhile, the Resistance is getting their ass kicked out there, right? And Poe was having another moment of doubt. He's like apologizing to everyone in his head. "I'm sorry. I thought we could win." Blah blah. All this
they're
shit.
all getting blasted out of
and then all of a sudden, Jiminy Cricket shows up again.
What happened?
Jiminy Cricket Lando shows up again. You hear the fucking music from the main theme of Star Wars just starts swelling up. It swells up, and then all of a sudden, bang! You see all these fucking ships that have come to help.
Yeah, oh, dude, when
all over the.
He like rises up. He rises up like over like this lip of Star Destroyers, and in the distance, it's the whole screen was filled with ships. Like it was ridiculous, their army, and they're like, "Where are they going to get an army from?" And it's like the whole galaxy shows up to fight the Emperor's forces. Yeah, it's like that. Like basically every ship in the Republic showed up, and then they start whacking the Empire and just taking their ships out. So then the Emperor shoots up Force lightning into the sky after stopping. So Kylo Ren shows up. Her and Rey are standing there, and they're like, he's like, "Fine." He does the "fine, so be it" Jedi bullshit. And what does he do to them? He sucks their life force out. Right? What?
J Belk. He flew in like the Schlitz Bowl. Oh my god. Oh fuck.
So
I know you're here all week, right? You're here all week.
On the show.
I know.
So wish.
Zing.
You gotta fix your rule.
So he sucks their life force out basically, and they both drop to the floor practically like on like life support, like they're almost dead. And he shoots up lightning into the sky and lights up the entire planet, and it consumes half of the Republic ships.
Oh, that's right.
Came to save.
He couldn't shoot lightning before because his fingers were fucked up, right? And then he actually regenerated.
Well, he when he sucked them out, he was
yeah.
like, "Oh," he says, like he goes, "The Force died, whatever the hell it's called, dyad or whatever."
Dyad, yeah.
He's like the Force guy. He goes, I haven't seen this or heard about this in like 1,000 generations or something. Then he shoots the lightning up, destroys half the Republic ships. Now the good guys are back on their asses again, and the Emperor is laughing and he's destroying everything. And he's like, "Fuck it, the heroes have no chance again." And then you hear the voices in Rey's head, and it's Anakin's voice, Yoda's voice, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Every character I heard Ki-Adi-Mundi at one point. I was like, is this every character that's ever been involved?
Kanan also. Kanan from Rebels.
Kanan from Rebels was in there too?
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, he was one of the voices in her head. So I just was going, I recognize that voice.
Easter egg, everyone. Well, all the ships are coming. The ship from Rebels were in there.
Yeah, I heard the ship from Rebels was also in the background during that.
Really?
All the ships, the Rebel ship is one of the ships.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Ahsoka Tano also.
So she like starts to rise basically, and they're like, "We are with you," because he tells her all the bad guys, all the 1,000 generations of Sith lie in me, and will transfer to you if you strike me down. So she rises, and a Jedi are in her head telling her, "You need to rise, Rey. These are your first steps. You have to. We're with you. Don't worry." So she rises up and grabs the lightsaber. And you're like, oh shit, she's gonna whack him. So he hits her with the Force lightning instead of shooting everybody out of the sky, and she blocks it and starts doing the Mace Windu move where she starts to redirect the bad guy's power against him. Then she pulls out the other lightsaber and does like a cross lightsaber thing and starts like walking towards him slowly, and he starts to like get.
Well, she goes, no, she goes, am all the Sith. And then she goes, and then I was going to do the Emperor voice again. And she goes, I am all the Jedi. And that's when she gets out both of the lightsabers.
Yeah, exactly.
And does the cross. Yeah.
He basically disintegrates himself, and it blows everything up. It like just it's like a force bomb that goes off and wipes everything out.
Who's this?
She survives. Oh, wait, he throws Kylo Ren off of a cliff. He's like, your father threw me down a shaft. I'm throwing you down one. And
that was straight up revenge.
He throws down a force shaft. So after she destroys the Emperor with the two lightsabers, and like that force feedback thing, she falls to the floor dead. Rey dies. Yeah. Kylo Ren shows back up again and goes over to her and heals her back and does gives her like half of his life force, or what you think is half of his life force. She wakes up, healed in the Force, and they kiss. You get every girlfriend and wife gets there. Yay! They finally kissed, and then Kylo Ren dies, and he's dead. He gets absorbed into the Force too, right? Doesn't he do like the Force ghost thing?
Appears also.
You there?
See, I had no problem with this. So they satisfied the Reylo fans, which is fine, right? Because I had a problem originally with Rey being attracted to Kylo because, look, he fucking captured you, tortured you. He murdered his own father in front of you, a man who you came to almost love in a short period of time. And how could you be attracted to this person? It was, strange to me. But the Force dyad explains it all. They are connected through the Force. They're two people sharing the same kind of life force. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how they.
So
they were like two souls.
That's why she wants to bring him. So she's, it's inescapable that she's attracted to him. They're connected.
Yeah.
And she wants to bring him toward the good. And look, it was just as insane to redeem Vader in the original trilogy. Vader murdered children. Vader was a mass murderer. He was, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And even Vader was redeemed in that series.
Yeah.
So we always knew Kylo was going to get redeemed, right? Just from, the nature of his character.
Yeah.
They were always going to redeem him. So he's redeemed. They kiss, fine. They have a Force bond. It explains why Rey is so fucking powerful. She's a Palpatine, and she has Kylo Ren's. She shares his abilities. I thought it wrapped it up and tied a nice bow on the story of Rey and Kylo. I want to talk about Rey also, the whole thing about her being, nothing, and the family and the lineage and stuff. The reason why a lot of fans also thought she was related to somebody was because if you read the expanded universe, there's in the expanded universe, Han and Leia have twin siblings. They have Jason Solo and Jaina Solo, right?
Yeah.
And so when they introduced Kylo Ben and Rey, a lot of fans thought, oh, they're adapting this story, because Jason Solo in the books eventually turns to the dark side also and becomes Darth Caedus.
Yep. So
Kylo Ren is kind of like an adaptation of that character. So we're thinking, oh, there's a girl here. Oh, that's the sister, maybe.
Right.
Or maybe she's not a sister, but she's related to somebody. So that's why a lot of fans thought she was, she had to be related to somebody in that aspect. It was an adaptation.
She was kind of related
from the books
through the Force. That Force dyad thing is she basically one soul kind of split, into two things. So I was fine with it, man. It is now she leaves. Obviously, the dark side's destroyed. The fucking Sith are gone now, completely gone, and she makes her way back. Everyone celebrates. You get everyone hugging. Then you get a ton of fan service. You get like the same scene from the end of Return of the Jedi, but like even more so. You get to see Ewoks and shit celebrating, and you get people hugging. Fucking Chewbacca gets like 30 hugs in this fucking movie. Everyone wants to hug the man.
He gets a medal.
Maz
Kanata gives him,
Yeah. So Maz Kanata gives him the medal, so that was cool. And then it kind of like fades to black. Kind of everyone gets like their little mini send off. You get to see like Poe kind of do his thing and say, everyone hugs, and the screen goes black. Comes back now, and you're back on a desert planet. You're in Tatooine. Rey's on Tatooine. And she goes to the Luke farmstead, and she uses a piece of metal and slides down into like the area where Luke and where they had the milk in the first movie, basically where Luke used to eat dinner with his aunt and uncle, Beru and Lars. So she's at the Lars homestead, and she's like looking around, and she takes the lightsabers she takes the two lightsabers of the brother and sister, Luke and Leia, and she puts them on the sand, and then she forces them down with her mind and buries them. This is what had the whole theater was in tears when they saw this. And then she looks out into the distance, and she sees Luke and Leia as Force ghosts watching her do this kind of. And an old lady shows up, and she like Wanderer, and she's like, "Hey, who are you?" And she's like, "I'm Rey." And the lady's like, "What's your family name?" And she's like, she looks around, and she sees Luke and Leia, and she goes, "I'm Rey Skywalker." And then you get the and the movie ends with that. I thought that was a beautiful way to end the movie. I thought it was very tasteful. I don't know. I really enjoyed that send off.
And she ended up being a Skywalker. A lot of fans wanted her to be a Skywalker. She ended up being a Skywalker from choice.
Yeah. So there you go.
She chose her family.
Yeah. Exactly. I really like that. I thought it was very tastefully well done. Now, what is it?
Speaking of the girl that gave Chewbacca the medal.
Maz. Yes, Maz Kanata.
Yeah, Maz Kanata. Yeah, she's lucky. She's lucky that her planet's never near me.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Robert, just a fan. Yes, I'm definitely seeing it again. Danny Lee, lesbian kissing. Yes, there was a lesbian kiss. I thought Poe and Finn were going to make out also. Yeah, that group hug was a little too tight there. It looked like they might have crossed swords in that exchange.
Oh, stop.
A little too close, that hug.
The Rob just fan. Okay, what's up with C-3PO and R2? They get their little send off too. R2's in. He gives C-3PO his mind back, and whatever. They kind of unite again. 3PO's in the whole movie, and R2 kind of shows up periodically. James Belk. Is that Captain Awesome's voice deepening? Yeah, I know. This kid's been like a 14-year-old since he was like 6 or 8 months.
I'm Captain Awesome. I wish I was on YouTube.
Let's see. So, things I didn't like about the movie. It was
fuck
packed.
Cats. I can't wait. Hold on. I can't wait to see Rob and Baz review on Cats. Oh boy. Yeah,
So,
we're not seeing that.
Yeah, right now it happened. Slay Kid. That's funny. So I thought it was over.
Things we didn't like.
Yeah, things I didn't like. I thought it was overpacked. I thought there was a few missed opportunities. I know we just went over the entire movie and we wanted to do all the things we liked about it first, but we're going to be talking about this movie now for the next 2 years, probably, like we do periodically with The Last Jedi over the last 2 years with you guys watching us. So we're going to be always hearkening back. We're going to obviously have guests on the show where we ask them what they thought, and then it's going to bring us into a whole new direction. This movie was a lot to digest. There was a couple of missed opportunities that elude my brain right now. I'll probably tell you guys those maybe next week or so when I either after I see it again or I kind of digest the movie mentally a little bit more. I tell you, I want to. This is something I remember, Baz. I told you last night on the phone. I have something I want to propose to you. I had brought this up to Laura, and she kind of thought this would have been. This might have worked also. Check it out. Would it have been better if Rey died, and Kylo Ren lived, and he was the one to go back and bury the sabers, and then the lady asks him, "What's your name?" and he says, "Ben." And he's like, "Ben who?" And he goes, "Ben Skywalker." Would that have made sense, or would that not have?
No, because he's Solo.
Because he's Solo, right? Yes, he is. He's Ben Solo, so it wouldn't have worked. But
yeah.
So I liked it. I thought that for a second I was like, "Oh, would it made?"
She has a vacancy. She doesn't have a last name.
Right, exactly. So that it happens to fit more with her. Did you guys see any cool?
And look, she's the hero of the story. She's the hero of these 3 films. She's this is the hero's journey. She has to slay the dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is Rey's fucking sequel trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
So she has to come out on top. She's
True. Did you guys see any cool upcoming movie previews? Yeah, a couple, I guess. I don't even really remember them, even though I had to sit through a half hour. I sat through a half hour previews. I was on my phone checking Facebook, trying to upload the cable review as this was going on. I was trying to get the cable review uploaded sitting there because I was like, I had to sit through a half hour of previews and I wanted to shoot myself. I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. He needed to die after his redemption. Yeah, I guess so. Batman, Shazam 2, Aliens, etc. No, you got years before those movies even go into production. Shazam 2 doesn't even start filming until the end of this coming year, and Batman starts filming in June or something. So forget it. Yeah, Top Gun. I don't give a fuck about him. I really don't like him. That guy, Tom Cruise. I don't like him as a person. I like his movies. I don't like him as a person, so I don't really pay attention to anything that he has going on. I don't like what him and his cult has done to people. And I've actually read books on that shit, so not a fan of that dude. Let's see. I liked it. Baz gives it a thumbs up, which is nice. I gave it a thumbs up.
Hold on one second.
I give it an 8 out of 10 so far. I'm still in the process of writing my my list, my favorite Star Wars movie list.
Motherfucker. What's up?
Oh, everything cool?
No, the fucking door opens and it's a fucking cat. I thought it was going to be a person. The door opens and I see a fucking cat crawling through. What the fuck?
What did you think of the last episode of Mando?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it yet? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Go watch it. Get off this stupid fucking show and go watch that.
So what didn't we like? It's nothing. I can't really think of anything. I don't know. Okay, I was unsure. About the Emperor's motivations from. It seemed to change here and there. Like he wanted to kill Rey, he didn't want to kill Rey. He wanted Kylo to take the throne. Then he wanted Rey to take the throne, and then he ended up sucking their life force. His motivations seemed to change.
He needed somebody to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And
he has a fetish. Kill me! Somebody kill me!
I think his dark side powers have gotten so powerful that he's able to possess people. He found the way to live forever. Remember, he was like, "There's a way to live forever."
Right.
I think the Sith way to live
Yeah.
forever is by being strict down, and then living on through like a force voice in the back of someone's head or something. You know.
So he was probably freaking possessing Snoke. So Snoke was probably just a shell of the fucking Emperor.
Well, they show you in the very beginning of the movie. They show you like where he is like a cloning factory, and there was just multiple Snokes and like Bacta tanks, like all over the place, like being bred.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and they were all like copies of Snoke. So basically, it was like when one dies, just put the new one in, and I just possess him. What's up?
When they're in the Bacta tanks at a clone facility,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are these? Why are there giant monsters? Why are there Bacta tanks? Why are there weird people walking around? Why is there a throne?
Yeah, so
why are they even
Snoke's was Jar Jar.
So was anybody in this? Did anything in this movie make you turn you off and make you go, ah, like that wasn't necessary? Or, that's like, you know, like we didn't need that.
Well, in the movie?
Yeah.
I need gun.
Dude, I liked it, man.
All
I don't have any problems.
Would you say that this movie ranks up a little higher on your Star Wars rankings?
That I haven't even thought of.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm trying to, like I just said, I'm trying to put together my own little
No.
Let's see. Okay. What do you think is the reason Leia didn't force disappear until after Ben died? Disappear. Do you think she was force helping Ben still in a coma? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because she didn't force disappear until he did. Maybe she's just slowed her life force down in order to kind of guide him and hold him by the hand the whole way. And maybe when he died, she was like ferrying his soul with her. Like, all right, we're gonna go together as mother and son. Did you get those Maju case yet? No, didn't get them yet. Speaking of which, I do have to contact them though, because it's the end of December and it's time to contact. No one did. No one got, because there are other people that are waiting on theirs also. Not a lot. 8 people. We had like 10 at one point. We don't ever get a lot of people to watch here. So we get a lot of people at the end. I'll check back later on and it'll be like 60 views. And I'm like, well, where the hell was this 60 people when we were live? What?
Nikki's sister, I don't know if it's sister or cousin, my bad. Sister, said she liked her video. She's subscribing.
Oh, nice. Cool. Grayson's playing Fortnite and one of his friend's sisters is subscribing. I hope she's of age.
How old you?
A sister.
Sister.
She said teenager.
Okay, teenager. Good. Teenagers are good to go. Can't be. This is a 13 and over program. Okay. So unfortunately, we wanted to have Nick Nack on here with us. We wanted to have PJ on here with us. We wanted to have Thor on here with us. Nobody was able to make it tonight. Nobody contacted me. I said this week I sent out the end of all right, excuse me, talking here. Show's going on. Thank you very much, kind sir. I sent
See what happens when you just too lax.
I sent out the force. I sent out the beacon, like from the end of The Last Jedi, and no one answered the call this week. Everyone was busy doing shit. So,
well, like you said, this is we're going to be talking about this for a long time.
Forget it. Yeah, dude, we just did an hour and 40 minutes with the two of us. This would have been like a 3 or 4 hour discussion with everybody. Going back and forth.
We'll get another chance to talk with them.
I know a lot of people didn't like it. I don't want to speak for them, but I know PJ did not like it at all. He gave it a 6 out of a 10 and thought it was meh at best. I don't know what anybody else thinks. Apparently, if you like the prequels, you are not going to like this movie. I don't get that. I just don't understand how you could not like movies that are just well done. Whatever.
It's weird, and a lot of people that love The Last Jedi in the media hate this fucking film.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's
another bunch of years where
it's catering to the fans. Yeah,
exactly. Catering to fans. The one thing movies are supposed to do, kind of cater to fans. I don't get it.
God forbid.
Yeah, exactly. See, I like The Last Jedi because it was different, and I'm glad that there's one Star Wars movie out of the 9 that kind of introduced these new concepts, some higher concepts. But at the same time, I get it. I did like this. I'm wrestling with the fact of whether or not I like. I made a lot of statements about the Last Jedi being my second favorite Star Wars movie after Empire. I've been saying that for the last 2 years, and now that this movie made me think, well, I didn't like the Canto Bight stuff at all, and because there was nothing in this movie that I really didn't like, does this movie become my second favorite? Or is it because I found myself watching Return of the Jedi more than any Star Wars movie? Does that become my second favorite by default?
Mm-hmm.
Because Empire will always be my number one. So this is just stuff I got to dwell on, and we'll be having conversations about this in the weeks to come.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I got nothing else to say there, Mr. Amazing Larry. We've been talking for an hour and 45 minutes. You have anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I'm fucking hungry, thirsty, everything.
Oh, here's something I wanted to mention. Well, McClunky.
Greedo, nice. McClunky.
McClunky.
Where's my fucking sticker?
McClunky.
That's what I gotta.
You ain't getting a sticker because I don't know where you live, asshole.
No, hell no. No. This is not happening.
I'm doing the show.
Hold
on.
I am the usual interruption.
It's her birthday.
But it's my birthday, so I get to do whatever.
It's her birthday. They've all been saying happy birthday to me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So say happy birthday to Roosevelt, people.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, they're silent. Oh, there we go. He's wearing headset, so I can't hear you, but I read lips.
That's cool.
So
yeah, so it's somebody's birthday, not mine.
So
James Belk says, I got your sticker hanging, Baz. Yeah.
Baz refuses to send me his address, so he ain't getting shit. Baz, what do you think of? I know you don't have did you see the McClunky thing? Do you know?
No, I know about the meme.
All right, dude. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's like Greedo. They changed it again for the 500th time.
Yeah, he goes, I'm going to take you to Jabba, dead or alive. And I've been waiting for this for a long time. And he goes, I bet you have. And then it goes to Greedo's face, and he goes, McClunky. And then shoots, and then Han shoots.
Oh, God. It's just pathetic. It's pathetic at this point. Just go with the original freaking version of that scene, man.
I watched a 4-minute YouTube video with Laura of just Greedo going, McClunky for 4 minutes straight. Oh my God.
I'm sure they have one that's 4 hours long too.
Yeah, dude. It was like, but actually, I put a video up in the official Red Cup Review Rebellion Facebook page that was shared from YouTube about a guy breaking down what the McClunky thing is and why it's the stupidest thing ever. And
yeah,
there's another dude on YouTube that breaks down in Huttese because of the Star Wars Clone Wars movie. In that, the Clone Wars, the movie, McClunky actually means ma is your, and clunky means dead. So when he goes because he goes over my dead body, and he says this for a long time. He goes, I bet you have, and he goes McClunky meaning you're dead. So I'm going to kill you anyway. So to give an idea that Han just doesn't kill him outright, he knew that he was going to kill him, so that's why he shot first, or some contrived bullshit. But it's really, really.
So McClunky sounds like some Polish family from Wisconsin. That's what McClunky sounds like.
McClunky, Macaulay Clunky, McClunky Culkin. Yeah.
So yeah,
pretty ridiculous.
Let's wrap this up, man. I'm gonna probably go watch the Mandalorian. It's good, right?
Oh, it's awesome. This episode is so awesome, dude. It's really good. Gina Carano, man. Oh God, that's why I've been putting up her memes lately, bro. She is so thick, bro. She's got like I'm like
with 2 C's.
Oh yeah, man. CC as in each butt, CC in each thigh and butt cheek. That is. Rob Justifan, I need to buy the despecialized Star Wars. Well, I can't address that officially, being that I'm a shill now for Sideshow. We don't talk about things like that. But if you were searching for something like that, there are Google machines out there. And I may or may not have went and did that a year ago and have never been happier. If you own a Blu-ray player, it will be quite lovely. So go and do that. Thicker Snicker.
James Belk writes, I know Bank's new password now.
Yeah, it's McClunky69. Any plans for X-Men? Okay, so Baz, we didn't necessarily do a Christmas episode. This ended up turning into a Star Wars episode. If it does not snow next weekend, we will be going live again. For the 9 people that are watching, we're going to do the giveaway. Remember, I promised you guys that giveaway. I want to do the giveaway with more than 9 people in the chat room. I don't understand. All these other guys go live, and there's like 150 people watching. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm going to be giving away, again, the prints of the bombshells, a whole collectible bombshell prints, set of them, and a statue from Cryptozoic, the Harley Quinn holding the pudding pop porcelain cold cast, whatever the fuck it's made of, statue. So I'll be giving that away next week as the last show of the year, as a nice little Christmas present to those people that are that come every week and watch. Shout out to Cryptozoic.
We should do what?
Yeah, what?
We should do year-end best of lists.
Yes, we're gonna have to actually put in some elbow grease this week, and do like a year of in review, wrap best of figures, movies, whatever. I actually got this in the mail by a surprise. I had no idea I was getting this. This just showed up. I actually reviewed this figure and did a giveaway. Somebody in here won it. This is the Mera Cryptozoic Holiday Edition, right? 192 of 300. And it's in, Mera in her holiday colors with special packaging that our friend Amanda sent to the Red Cup review as a nice little Christmas surprise. And another thing that I thought was kind of cute was I got a little Happy Holidays card from the whole Cryptozoic team, signed by everybody that works for Cryptozoic.
So wow. They love you, huh?
Yeah, and I even said to Amanda, I was like, yo, Amanda, I was like, that was really awesome. Thanks a lot. I can't believe it. She's like,
come I didn't get any card.
No
stickers, no card. What the?
Because you won't even give me your fucking address that I know you for fucking 37 years, you asshole.
I'll give you my address, then give it to Cryptozoic, and then have them send me a belated Christmas card.
So, so they're like, yeah, you do a real good job supporting us here at Cryptozoic, so we want to do nice things for you. So I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, I really appreciate that. That was very, very nice. Anyways, guys, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate.
Kwanzaa.
Anything. May all the peace and love of the universe and the force flow through you and your family in this time of the year. Make sure to do something nice for somebody. Hold the door open for an old lady. I don't know. Carry the groceries for your mom the way you used to. And send love into the world. Be like Rey and Kylo. You know what I'm saying? The universe has enough emperors and fucking Darth Mauls out there. We love you guys. Happy Life Day, Danny Lee. Very, very noble of you to write that. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us for the entire chat. We really appreciate it. We know we went really long tonight. We hope you guys liked the movie as much as we did. We wish you guys nothing but the best. But we will be with you before the new year to do that special giveaway for you guys here in the chat. Love
Festivus.
You. Can't say it enough. Festivus for the rest of yous. This is Rob Banks with his 2 hoods and Baz saying much love, and we'll see you guys on the dark side. Take care. Everybody.
I'm going to go get drunk.
That's
later.
Right. See you guys later. Peace.